So today I'm going to talk about the audit reconsideration process. That's a pub 3598. So basically they have 4 reasons that you would actually be considered for an audit reconsideration. 1, you didn't show up for the audit. 2, you have additional information. 3, you didn't receive anything. You didn't receive any letters. Maybe you moved, you didn't receive any letters. And then the 4th one is you just disagree with the assessment. I mean, myself, I'll be perfectly honest with you, I don't really agree with the last one, because if you disagree with the initial assessment, you would have filed a request for appeals. And that was your opportunity right there. Somebody else would have listened to your case. But that's what they have listed in the publication 3598. And so the reason I'm actually going to discuss this is I actually had 2 cases during all the examinations I had, and so I'm going to discuss them, just briefly go over them. So in the first example, taxpayer came under examination, was Schedule C business, and I basically sent out the initial contact letter, and after 14 days, I didn't hear anything. So I, from there I made out the report, disallowed the expenses under examination, applied 20% penalty with the interest, sent it out with a 915 letter. Then it's a 30-day letter, no reply. Sent out the 1912 letter, notifying the taxpayer of his rights because I hadn't heard anything. And then I didn't hear anything after that. And basically from there, I closed out the case. And then from there, I mean, the case goes out of the office and goes to another part of the IRS, and they'll send out a statutory notice of deficiency. And the taxpayer received the bill, and I'm sitting in at my desk, and my phone rings, and it's the guard, and he says, "There's someone here to see you." And I was like, "Okay." So this gentleman comes in, and he's explaining. He says, he wants to plead his case. He has like a shoebox full of stuff for his business, and I basically said, "There's nothing I can do for you." I said, "Not this, really." I said, the best I can do is, I gave him the form. I says, "Here you go." I says, "You can do an audit reconsideration." I says, read it carefully." I said, you definitely qualify. I says, "I'll probably see you in about a year." And sure enough, like clockwork, it was about a year that his case came across my desk. And I contacted the taxpayer, and we went through the issues. He was able to basically resolve about 90% of it. And that was it. It was perfect. I mean, it worked out, and I'm glad I was able to help in that manner. In the second case, the taxpayer was represented by a power of attorney, and I had previously examined the taxpayer, and I received an audit reconsideration, and it basically said that the taxpayer had additional information. So the power of attorney came in, and he was going to present whatever he was going to present, and it was the same information that he provided me before. It's like, your whole request for an audit reconsideration is they had new additional information, and there was nothing here. And I basically said, "There's nothing here. There's nothing I can do." I says, and I basically, it was nothing had changed, and basically notified him of his appeals rights, and basically closed out the case. It was as simple as that. And so, like, if you do that and you don't have any additional information, well, they're just going to say, well, it doesn't qualify. It's simple as that. And with that in mind, that's pretty much it. I just want you to let you know that option is available. At the end of the video, I'll have the 3598. Go ahead and read it if you actually fall into the criteria for this. And on that, Thank you.